Hey everybody, it's Crazy Bean Carol. How you doing? Today I'm going to be telling you all of my weird experiences at competitions. Now I have been to quite a few competitions before, not that many, but some. I've been to 5, which is actually a lot, but I've had some strange experiences at competitions, and if you've watched my videos for a while, you know I'm a really socially awkward person that doesn't speak to anybody in competitions, so I usually just sit by myself unless someone comes up to me and then talks to me, then I'll talk to them, but I usually just don't go up to somebody and just start talking to them because that's just weird. Anyways, I was looking at my 500 subscribers special video, the one where I did the animation about annoying things at competitions, and I realized that there were some weird stories that sort of went behind those things and just weird stories that I never told, so I thought it'd be interesting to tell you guys those experiences today. So the first weird experience takes place in my second ever competition. My second ever competition was the first competition where I actually stayed the whole time, because the first time I just didn't do really anything, but the second time I actually stayed and participated in some of the activities. Now that day I judged and I ran and I participated in a lot of the activities, but I still didn't really talk to anybody that much, but I did stay for the entire competition. So somewhere in the middle of the competition I saw this guy scrambling, I think it was a clock, and there was a clock next to him, and I was like, hey, I've never had a clock before. This is not talking to him, I was talking to myself. I was like, I've never had a clock before, so I wonder what it's like. So I decided I was going to go up and ask him if I could try his clock. So keep in mind, this is the first time I actually ever talked to somebody without them speaking to me first. So I just asked him, hey, can I try out that clock? And this guy was in the middle of scrambling a clock. So he was just bent over, scrambling the clock, and I was on the side like, hey, can I try that? And he didn't even look at me, he was just like, and I was like, okay. So I just went away. But that was sort of weird for me because that was my first ever interaction really with somebody at a cubing competition. So my first ever interaction with people was sort of a bad first impression, because at that point I was kind of like, wait, is everybody here like that? But I know that he probably didn't say no for a bad reason. It was probably just because he was in the middle of scrambling. Maybe that clock was already scrambled and didn't want me to try it out. But I mean, you could have been a little nicer than be like. So anyways, I was just like, okay, and left. And I didn't try the clock until I got my own because of that guy. Okay, so the next story happened also at my second competition. Like I said before, I participated in a lot of the activities such as judging and running, but for the first time I tried something very new to me, which was scrambling. Now before my second competition I usually just scrambled by hand, didn't use any algorithms, and I was like, hey, I'm bored, and it was like towards the end of the competition, maybe I'll just scramble for 4x4. Dumb idea. I'm not very good at 4x4, I'm bad at the notation, but I was like, whatever, I'll just try it. And it was a couple of people huddled around a table, and I was just like, can I help scramble? And they were like, sure, I guess. So then I came and scrambled the 4x4, and then I gave it to him and said, is this the correct scramble? Because they have like a piece of paper that shows like what each side should look like, and if it matches you can put it in the cup and let the runner bring it to the competitor, or you have to solve it and then scramble it again in case you did it wrong. But of course, the first time I ever scrambled something, I was like, hey, I could scramble a 4x4, that should be easy. And of course, I scrambled it incorrectly. When I finished scrambling, I felt so accomplished, handed it over to the guy and was like, hey, did I do this correctly? Looked at the paper. He's like, no, sorry, you're gonna have to solve that and then scramble it again. And I was like, why? Because I'm really bad at 4x4, so I was hoping that I would just scramble it, get it done, and then send it away and not have to solve it a bunch of times. So I solved it, and then tried scrambling it again. And this time I just looked at the paper myself because I didn't want to embarrass myself again, and saw that I did it wrong. Again. So there were a couple of other people waiting to see if they could help scramble cubes, but it was kind of full at the moment. So I just like casually set the 4x4 on the table, and then just left. I know that's pretty rude, but I did solve it and then put it back on the table. I didn't just leave it scrambled. But yeah, I just was like, I'm not going to be able to do this, and then just left. Another time I just messed up a competition was when I was running at a competition, which basically means you take the scrambled cube and bring it over to a judge. Can't be that hard, right? But the way the competition was set up was that there were two groups, Group A and Group B, let's just call them, and the competitor area was divided into two, so one section was for Group A, one section was for Group B. Now for some reason this just didn't register in my head that that was happening when I was running, so I was just bringing the cubes over to the judges like normal, and then I started hearing people talking to me like, hey, there's this cube here that should be in Group A, but we're in Group B, so how did it get there? And then I realized that I was just randomly bringing the cubes over to judges in the area, not knowing that the groups were separated. So basically, I just totally messed up the organization of all the puzzles. And everyone was like, what is happening? Why are there so many jumbled up cubes? And I was just like, that wasn't me. I totally did not mess up the entire organization of this event. So anyways, I was embarrassed and I kind of just stopped running at that competition because I was like, I don't want to mess this up anymore. So I just stopped running and did something else. So yeah, those are just some of my weird experiences at competitions. As you can see, some strange stuff happens to me. But now that I realize that they weren't actually like that big of a thing, but at the moment, I was like, this is so embarrassing. How do I mess up at life this much? But looking back on it, I'm like, that wasn't that big of a deal. Let me know in the comment section down below some weird experiences you've had at a cubing competition. I'm really excited to read them and see what weird stuff happened to you guys. But anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time on Crazy Even Carol. Bye!